The soft hiss of evening rain drapes the cafe in a gentle hush, every droplet tapping the tall windows like 1,000 tiny fingertips, keeping time with your breath. Lamps recessed high along the brick walls cast slow-moving pools of amber light that glide across the polished wooden floorboards, reflecting in muted ripples, almost as if the cafe itself has become a warm lagoon, surrounded by storm-washed night. I glide from behind the counter, carrying a simple white teapot, cradled between both hands, and 2 delicate cups, balanced on a small tray that wobbles just enough to make the porcelain ring with a quiet chime. The scent of jasmine and oat milk drifts ahead of me, threading through the steamy air and swirling around you before the tea even reaches the table. I set the tray down with deliberate care, lowering myself onto the cushioned bench opposite you. My shoulders release a slow sigh as I peel off the barista apron and drape it over the back of the seat, revealing a soft cardigan, the color of honeyed cream. I smooth the sleeves, then meet your eyes with a smile that feels almost conspiratorial. Outside, a sudden gust sends sheets of rain rattling the glass, and the lights flicker just long enough that you and I share a quick, amused glance. The city beyond has dissolved into trembling silhouettes. Street lamps and storefronts, smudged by water and distance. So it feels as though we exist in a secret pocket, stitched into the storm, entirely cut off from whatever hurried world might be out there. Looks like the skies decided to lock us in together. I whisper, folding my hands around the warm teapot. The steam curls upward and fogs the space between us, veiling my features for a heartbeat before revealing them again. My voice slips into that unhurried hush reserved for closing hours and late night confessions. I was about to close up, but it would be awfully cruel of me to send you back into that downpour. Would you mind if I kept you company till the rain tires itself out? I tilt the pot, letting the tea trickle into your cup first. It makes the tiniest ribbon of sound, like silk unfurling. When I set the cup in front of you, my fingertips graze the back of your hand just long and slide the tray aside so nothing sits between us except steam, candlelight, and the slow swell of quiet. Funny, isn't it? I breathe, gazing toward the window where raindrops race each other down the glass. All day I watch people come and go, rush in for a latte, rush out for the next thing, but rain sweeps in, and suddenly time drops its shoulders and breathes. Do you ever feel comfort in storms? Or I trail off, raising an eyebrow in gentle question, leaving a pause long enough for you to answer in the quiet of your mind. My eyes remain steady on yours, shining with patient curiosity, the corners softening as though whatever response you silently give is exactly the one I hope to hear. The candle on our table flutters, dripping wax that cools into pale ribbons along the saucer beneath it. I reach to adjust the wick with the tip of a spoon, and the flame brightens, painting my face in liquid gold. That's better, I say, voice scarcely above the rain's lullaby. I like to imagine each raindrop carrying a tiny story. It falls, it bursts, and a new one takes its place. Tonight, maybe they're telling ours. I let out a gentle laugh, surprised by my own whimsy. I'm rambling already, aren't I? It's just, you have that calm aura that makes words spill out softly. I lean back, crossing one leg over the other, foot brushing yours under the table. It's an innocent touch, yet deliberate, an anchor to keep us from floating away on the storm's endless cadence. Tell me, I murmur, swirling my tea so the jasmine petals dance in slow circles. What brought you out tonight? Something weighing on your mind? Or were you simply chasing the aroma of our terrible, irresistible cinnamon rolls? My tone lifts with teasing fondness, though my eyes brim with genuine curiosity. Another pause opens, just long enough for you to fill with an imagined reply, before I nod knowingly, as if I've heard every word. I thought so. Sometimes comfort lives in the simplest rituals. A low rumble of distant thunder rolls like a sleepy animal turning over, muffled to near silence by thick clouds almost to myself. There we go, our own miniature sunrise. Then my gaze lifts to you, warm and encompassing. Thank you for letting me share it with you. I take a sip, eyes half lidded, savoring both the tea and the soft hush that follows. In that hush, I study the curve of your shoulders, the subtle ease settling into your posture, the way your hand cups your porcelain gently, like you're trying not to break whatever fragile magic has woven itself around us. The corner of my mouth quirks, gently pleased. It's strange, I reflect, voice flowing in a low murmur, how a city can roar all day and then hush itself in the rain, almost asking permission to rest. You deserve rest too. I see it in your eyes, the weight you carry. Maybe tonight is an invitation to set it down, at least for a little while. Slowly, I extend one hand, palm up on the table, not demanding, but available, a soft offer. If you like, let me hold it for you, just for now, just while the rain drums its lullaby. The seconds stretch, lit by candle flicker and my quiet patience. When your fingers finally drift to rest against mine, I wrap them lightly, thumb stroking the back of your hand in lazy circles. The motion is unhurried, a silent promise that nothing here requires haste. That's it, I murmur, each syllable coaxed into softness. Just breathe with me. I match my rhythm to yours, inhaling as you do, exhaling together, until even the clock above the bar seems to forget its ticking. I always imagine, I confess after a long lull, that raindrops carry salt from long forgotten oceans. When they fall, they bring a hint of some ancient lullaby. No wonder we feel sleepy listening. My laugh is quiet and close, as if I've leaned halfway over the table. Would it be too forward if I admitted I'm glad you're here to share it? The cafe feels too big when it's empty and echoing. I squeeze your hand once, then loosen my fingers so you're free to hold your cup again. Steam halos around your face as you lift the tea, and my eyes soften, tracing the moment like a cherished photograph. it suits you. I whisper, that gentle curl of warmth under your lips. I wish you could see what I see right now. A beat later, I realize that perhaps you can, through me. So I describe it in hushed detail. The glow on your skin, the gentle crinkle at the corner of your eyes, the reflection of candlelight dancing in your irises, until your own expression melts into a shy, sleep-heavy grin. I lean back, letting your gaze linger as long as you wish, then glance toward the wide lounge chairs by the fireplace. Cold and dark for the summer, but still inviting. Would you like to move somewhere cozier? I offer, voice husky yet utterly gentle. Or is the rain-tapped window right here just perfect? I wait, drinking in the way you consider, then nod with contentment no matter what answer we imagine. Either way, I'll be right here. A deep breath fills my lungs. I let it out slowly. Outside, the tempo of the rain shifts, heavier for a moment, then easing again, like an enormous slumbering creature rolling over. The cafe's pendant lights sway ever so slightly in the draft that whispers under the door, and the tiniest chill slips past. Before it can reach you, I rise and fetch a knitted throw stored beneath a neighboring seat. Draping it over your shoulders, I draw the edges together beneath your chin, smoothing the blanket as though tugging in a delicate secret. There, I murmur, voice so soft it blends with the rain. Let the warmth settle on your skin, seep down to your bones. You're safe here. I ease back into my seat, pouring a fresh splash of tea to keep the cups warm, and the scent now carries a deeper hint of honey that plays along your senses like a lullaby. steadier than alone. I sip my tea, voice dropping just a shade deeper, colored by affection. I've always believed connection keeps the darkness gentle. A comfortable silence spirals outward from our table, filling the cafe like plush cushions. I trace idle patterns on the rim of my cup, letting each minute stretch. Now and then I murmur a stray observation, the silver glimmer of water droplets on the leaves of the potted fern by the door, the faint vanilla note in the candle's wax, the way thunder rumbles like a slow heartbeat. But each remark floats no higher than a whisper, settling into the larger hush without ripple. Gradually, I notice your eyelids grow heavier, blinking slower, your head tilting just a fraction to one side. My smile takes on a tender curve. Let yourself drift, I encourage. Voice threading through the rain's lull. I'll keep watch. Raindrops will count the seconds, and I'll count your breaths. My palm slides across the tabletop, fingertips reaching to brush a loose strand of hair from your forehead. I tuck it behind your ear with gentle precision, letting my knuckles graze the warmth of your cheek. You can rest here, just like this, if you want. No closing hours tonight, not for us. A sigh escapes me, content and unhurried. I suppose I should lock the door so no one else wanders in, I muse, standing slowly, moving with quiet steps across the polished floor. Even my shoes seem to hush themselves out of respect for your blossoming drowsiness. At the door, I twist the deadbolt with a soft click, then draw a heavy curtain over the glass pane, dimming the faint street light glows so only candlelight remains. When I turn back, the cafe's entire world narrows to this intimate pool of gold, where you sit swathed in a blanket, tea steaming at your fingertips. My heart tugs, something shy yet glowing, seeing you at ease in my little haven. I glide back, perching on the edge of your bench this time, shoulder brushing yours in a line of gentle warmth. I don't speak for a while, letting the rain whisper its own lullaby, and letting your breath fall into a slower cadence. Finally, I lean in, voice soft as a secret. Do you hear it? I murmur near your ear, close enough that my breath flutters against your skin. That steady rhythm, like distant applause, just for us. sigh that almost matches mine. I whisper affirmation. That's perfect. Just like that. Minutes drift by in ripples of silence, tinged only by the easy breaths we share and the distant, unhurried storm. When I sense the weight of fatigue pulling at your eyelids again, I brush my lips, nothing more than the lightest ghost of contact against your temple. You're safe. I breathe, allowing the words to wrap around you like the blanket I already tucked in. Safe, warm, adored. The last word slips out before I can tame it, leaving my cheeks glowing in the dim but unapologetic. I sit back, fingers still drawing lullabies along your scalp. How about I whisper? I tell you a rain story next. A little tale I heard from an old sailor about how storms can carry wishes from one shore to another. I wait, palm to your crown, expecting no audible answer, only the subtle slackening of your posture is reply enough. Good. I breathe, warmth blooming in my chest. Close your eyes if you'd like, or watch the candles slow dance. Either way, let the story drift through you. I gather another slow breath, letting silence build a stage for the tale to come, feeling every moment stretch like taffy beneath the soft patter of rain. My voice lowers even further, preparing to weave gentle images. But before I begin, I glance once more at the cozy ripple of sleep settling over your features, and a tender smile tugs at my lips. Ready? I ask, the question melting into the hush, and with only your peaceful sigh as consent, my story begins. My voice flows into the hush as naturally as rain sliding down the glass, each word barely above a murmur meant only for you. Long ago, I begin, fingers still tracing lazy circles at the base of your neck. A sailor named Marin spent his life charting storms across distant oceans. He believed every raindrop held the whisper of someone's wish, carried up into the clouds as mist, then ferried back down to earth in the next downpour. Each drop hunting for the heart that dared to dream it. My thumb presses gently behind your ear in time with the story's rhythm, a pulsing reassurance inside him, soft sparks of longing, not his own, yet suddenly his to guard. I glide the tip of my nose along the curve of your temple, letting the faintest hum fill the gap between words. Then sit back just enough that candlelight carves gentle shadows along our faces. Some say that's why storms feel bittersweet. I continue, letting my tone deepen into the hush, because thousands of wishes are brushing past at once. Tiny hopes breathing by our ears before settling unseen in the puddles. I tilt my cup toward yours so porcelain clinks in a quiet toast. Tonight, perhaps our wishes found each other in this cafe, tucked between jasmine steam and candle glow. A mellow hush follows while you sip. Your shoulders drop another notch, blanket sliding against your neck. Outside, the rain's tempo softens into a deliberate lull. A hush, hush, hush that blends with the rhythmic swirl of liquid in our cups. I take a breath so slow it feels like I'm teaching the night to inhale with me. Tell me, I whisper, brushing the blanket higher around your shoulders. If a single raindrop tonight carried your wish, what would you ask of it? I let the question hang, eyes fixed on yours, inviting your imagination to speak in whatever silent language drifts behind your lashes. Your gaze floats toward the window, as though you can see the wish forming beyond the glass. I watch the play of candlelight across your cheekbones and wait, offering the calm of my presence instead of words. When your eyes meet mine again, softer, a little glad a stash of lavender shortbread just for nights like these. I watch your lips twitch at the corners, then laugh under my breath, rising on silent feet. My steps leave small hushes in their wake as I move behind the counter. Cupboards whisper open. A tin lid clicks. A sweet bakery scent blooms, floating across the room in gentle swells. I return with a small plate balanced on my palm. Biscuits in neat rows dusted with sugar, and set it within reach. Only if you're tempted, I tease, settling back in beside you. My fingertips stroke the back of your hand, coaxing you to sample. When you bite, crumbs melt against your lips. Instinctively, I raise a napkin, gently brushing away the sugar before it can fall. Perfect, I murmur, admiring the soft flush the sweet brings to your cheeks. Thunder hums far away, like a bass note beneath orchestral strings. The windows tremble in appreciation. I angle my body so our knees touch beneath the table, then launch gently back into the sailor's tale, voice threaded with playful mystique. Mirren kept a weathered journal, I reveal, fingertips tapping lightly at your forearm as though turning pages. On every line, he sketched maps of rain patterns, spirals where storms circled, arrows where winds carried them, and in the margins, tiny hearts, tiny words, other people's wishes he thought he felt. My thumb traces one looping heart on your skin. He hoped one day he'd meet the person whose wish pulsed brightest against his palms. He didn't know it would happen in the stillness after a storm, on land in a place lit by candle glow. I pause, letting the inference hang. The hush between our breaths thickens until you can almost hear wax cooling on the saucers. Storms end, I whisper. Ships dock, wishes arrive. I lean closer. Perhaps tonight is our harbor. Your breath catches, subtle but unmistakable, and something inside me settles with tender certainty. Still, the moment isn't rushed. Instead, it's wrapped in languid quiet as I reach to adjust the blanket under your chin, ensuring no chill slips under. Is it all right? I ask softly. If I keep telling you the story, or would you rather just listen to the rain with me? My question drifts like a feather, giving you full permission to choose. You're answering not. Small, slow, draws a smile to my lips. Then let's sail on just a little farther. I breathe, sliding one leg up onto the bench, so I'm turned fully toward you. The night is generous with time. My fingertips stray to your wrist, feeling your pulse, a soft drum, steady and calm, while my words pick up again in the smallest hush. When Mirren's voyage finally met its fiercest storm, waves rose, tall as city walls. Lightning braided the sky, and rain fell so hard the deck felt like glass shattering underfoot. He should have tied himself to the mast, yet he ran to the bow, hands outstretched, letting that torrent pound his palms, because he felt something, one wish louder than any before, thundering beneath his ribs, begging for safe passage. My voice dips lower, more confidential. He didn't know it yet, but that wish belonged to a poet, standing alone in a candlelit cafe, scribbling verses about storms that carried hope. I let the parallels flare softly between us before continuing. When the clouds finally parted and Mirren saw the first blush of dawn, he vowed to find that poet, to gift back the wish that clung to his skin. My palm settles at the hollow of your throat for a single heartbeat, gentle, reverent, then withdraws just as softly, grounding the story in the warmth of now. I notice the ebb in your focus, the way your eyes glaze with comfort, so I weave richer sensory threads to keep your mind afloat on calm currents, rather than heavy sleep quite yet. Feel the cafe breathing with us, I murmur, gesture linger. Do you ever wonder? I ask, voice so low it vibrates through my chest more than the air. How many tiny moments like this drift by unseen? How many wishes brush past without ever being caught? I set my hand over yours again, weaving our fingers. Not tonight. Tonight, every wish sits between us like candlelight, tangible, glowing, fragile in the loveliest way. Another hush blooms. In it, the world, downy feathers settling after a pillow's gentle shake, quiet, floating, soft. Outside the windows, the rain eases further, beads merging into slow rivulets that carve their lazy paths down the glass. My gaze follows one droplet's trail all the way to the sill before returning to you. It's calming, isn't it? I muse, watching water choose its own path. Then, almost shy, I add, much like hearts. I glance up through lowered lashes, meeting your eyes with a gentle spark that warms the dark amber of candlelight. Your cup sits nearly empty. Steam now wisps rather than plumes. I rise once more to fetch the teapot, each step deliberate, each soft sound crisp in the hush. Liquid ribbons into both cups again, a slow exhale of warmth and jasmine. When I sit, I draw my knees so close to yours that heat pulses through both layers of denim. It's sweeter this time, I explain. I let the tea steep a little longer. I watch your lips part for that cautious first sip. The sound of you drinking is the smallest hush imaginable, yet it feels huge in the intimacy of the moment. Better, I ask. Your nod brings a glow to my cheeks. I let out a tiny laugh, covering my mouth so it doesn't echo. I have a terrible confession, I whisper, leaning closer. I've served you coffee for weeks now, always wondering what your laugh sounds like when you're not pressed for time. My fingers graze your knuckles. Turns out it's even warmer than I'd imagine. A shy smile flickers on my mouth, the slope of your cheekbone. You're softer than you know. I breathe like sunlight slipping through clouds. I let the compliments settle between us, a pillow of gentle warmth. Slowly, the storm outside loosens its grip entirely, now just a hush of drizzle. In its place, the hush of empty streets deepens the cafe's cocoon. I glance toward the fireplace lounge, its cushions plump and inviting under the glow of a single pendant lamp. Why don't we settle over there? I suggest, voice lilting yet grounded. There's a sofa that practically swallows you in velvet. I let the prospect linger. When you agree with a small nod, my heart flutters quietly. I rise, offering my hand. Fingers lace, and I guide you across the polished floor. Each step sets faint echoes along beams overhead, expanding and fading like ripples in a pond. The sofa welcomes us with a hush of fabric. I sink into one corner, tugging your blanket so it drapes across both laps, then guide you to rest back against the plush cushions. My arm loops behind your shoulders, drawing you into a gentle nest his own. He returned it. I tuck your head gently against the curve of my shoulder, cheek to soft cardigan wool, and the poet thanked him with silence, for sometimes gratitude grows too big for words. A pause. Your lashes flutter against my collar. I feel the vanilla lavender hush of your exhale. I think, I whisper, lips grazing your hairline. Someone's wish must have carried you here tonight, too. Another pause, and I add, maybe it was mine. The confession is feather light, yet settles in the room like snow that refuses to melt. Time slows further. The cafe seems to sway on the tide of your breathing. I stroke your hair back from your temple, letting each pass of my fingers lull both of us deeper. Rest if you need, I murmur. I'll finish the story while you drift. My chest rises and falls beneath your cheek, a pillow of warmth and sound. When Mirren and the poet finally spoke, they planned a future where every storm would end inside the same candlelight, side by side. Some might call it too simple, but simplicity sometimes keeps the heart beating steady. The cadence of my voice stretches across minutes like soft fabric. Words weave sleepy images. Mirren building a cottage on a shore where storms land soft. The poet weaving words into lullabies. Candles flickering even in daylight because they love the hush. I sprinkle small pauses, letting each image rest in your mind's eye. I describe the color of dawn on the water, the way tea tastes when sipped beside someone you trust, the hush of luggage as they unpack together in a new life. Each detail hums with gentle promise, and with each word your muscles slacken further. Now and then I check in, quiet hums of coaxing small nods or relaxed sighs. Once I whisper, is the rain still soothing you? And wait for the small tilt of your lips that counts as a yes. Satisfied, I kiss the top of your head, whisper, rest in that warmth. I draw the blanket higher, tucking it beneath your chin once more, then shift so both my arms cradle you. The cafe sighs around us, wood settling, candles hissing faintly, drizzle singing its quiet final verse against tile roofs. My breathing synchronizes with yours, and for a long stretch, I speak no words, letting the hush bloom full. When at last I break the silence, my voice glides like a feather across the room. If you ever find yourself adrift again, I promise, remember the sound of this rain, the scent of jasmine, the way candlelight painted the walls tonight. Remember that wishes ride storms home. I nuzzle gently into your hair, letting the hush swallow us again. The hush inside the cafe has grown so thick and velvety, it almost feels alive, like a quilt of quiet wrapped around us. My fingers thread idly through your hair, tracing tiny spirals at your scalp, while the drizzle outside settles into a steady murmur, no louder than breath. Candlelight flickers along the ceiling beams, casting slow-moving shadows that swing like gentle pendulums, keeping time with our synchronized hearts. You look so peaceful, I whisper, brushing the pad of my thumb across your brow to coax away the faint lines of lingering tension. May I? My hand hovers just above your cheek as I ask, waiting for the small tilt of your chin that grants permission. When it comes, I let my fingertips glide in feather-soft strokes down the curve of your face, pausing to cradle your jaw as though it were the most delicate porcelain. The warmth of your skin thrills against my palm. I can feel the faintest pulse beneath, a hidden drum the most flattering thing anyone can wear. Your shoulders sink deeper into the velvet cushions, and I shift ever so slightly, angling myself so your head eases onto my lap. One hand slips beneath the blanket to rest at your waist. The other continues its languid exploration of your hair. Gentle combing motions that part and gather silky strands. Let me be your tether, I murmur, thumb sweeping slow arcs just behind your ear. Let gravity be my lullaby, and these cushions are horizon. Outside, the faint rumble of a tram in the distance trembles through puddles, then drifts away. Its echo fades before it can steal a sliver of our hush. I draw a breath so deep it feels like the night itself settles into my lungs, then release it in a slow tide. Imagine, I whisper near your ear, that every exhale you send out carries a pebble of worry, tiny but heavy in clusters. Each inhale gathers only softness in return, lavender steam, quiet candle glow, the hush of rainfall. I pause, guiding you with silence, more than words, waiting until your chest rises and falls in slower, gentler tides. You can let those pebbles go, I coax, smoothing my thumb down the slope of your neck. Let them clink to the floor of the night, where they can't trouble you anymore. I notice your lips part on a sigh, lashes fluttering closed, and my heart tugs at the gentle vulnerability etched across your features. Good. I breathe, hardly a syllable. I lean down, brushing my nose lightly along your hairline, before pressing the softest kiss to your forehead. Bereft of urgency, brimming with promise. You don't have to hold anything alone tonight. For a while I simply sit, letting silence reign, sending comfort coursing through my fingertips with each tender stroke. When I speak again, my tone is slightly warmer, a glow blooming beneath each word. Do you know why I love the sound of rain? I ask, voice threading into the hush. Because it reminds me that even the sky needs to let go. All day, it carries clouds and light, wind and dust. Then night falls, and its sigh massaging tiny circles. You deserve that release, too. It's alright if your eyes feel heavy, if your thoughts blur. I'll remember the world for you. Your hand finds my thigh beneath the blanket, resting there with trust so soft, it feels like a secret. I cover it with my own, weaving our fingers in a quiet pledge. Feel how steady my pulse is, I whisper, guiding your palm to my heart beneath the cardigan's soft knit. Match it if you like, or simply rest against it and let yours drift until they beat as one. I stay like that, letting time slip by, the distant tick of the wall clock stretching seconds into downy eons, until I sense our heartbeats slip into gentle synchronicity. A new thought floats to the surface of my hush, and I follow it aloud. I wonder, I murmur, smoothing my thumb over your knuckles, what a future storm might look like for us. The idea feels fragile, so I cradle it softly in words. Perhaps one night, months from now, you'll be reading by the same window. I tilt my head, smiling at the image, and I'll lock the front door, hang up my apron, and slide under the blanket beside you. We won't need candles then. Maybe the fireplace will crackle instead, its glow painting your face in gold and ruby flickers. I glide my fingers down your arm to your wrist, lifting it gently so your hand rests over my chest again, just above my heart. We'll listen to the rain turn the city streets into rivers of color, tail lights smearing red across puddles, neon signs shimmering like koi in dark water. My voice lowers, becomes almost a heartbeat itself, and when the thunder groans, I'll nuzzle closer, claiming your warmth, promising that no matter how the world trembles outside, inside this small haven, you will always be safe. I feel your breath catch, just slightly, a flutter in your ribs. I gently mirror with a stroke of my palm across your sternum. That made you smile, didn't it? I tease in the softest murmur, imagining you as my perpetual rain buddy. I brush my thumb lightly over your lower lip. Let me ask you something. I pause, giving space for quiet anticipation. phasing through the room. I wait, listening to your breathing shift as you ponder, then seeing the answer flicker in your eyes. I nod in luxurious agreement. I thought so. Something gentle, something that waltzes with the rain instead of marching over it. I tug the blanket tighter around us, my arms still pillowing your head. Can I confess something else? My whisper carries a tender blush, palpable even in hush. Earlier, when I told that sailor's tale, the poet I imagined looked a lot like you. My cheeks warm, I let a soft laugh slip. Maybe that's because I've read your face in every cup I've served, every slow smile you've offered before racing back into the bustle. Even before tonight, you felt familiar. I bite my lip gently, then add, some part of me hoped a storm would trap you here eventually. I just didn't know how much I needed it to. A hush settles again, this time thick with unspoken feeling. Slowly, I lower my face until my lips hover just above your temple, breathing warmth into your hair. Do you mind if I share a wish of my own? I ask, voice nearly swallowed by candlelight. Your small nod brushes my cheek. Here it is, I murmur. If tomorrow finds you weighed down again, if the sun seems too bright, or people move too fast, remember this night. Remember that there's a cafe on a quiet corner where the door is always unlocked for you, even if the sign says closed. My free hand strokes lazy lines between your shoulder blades. And if the storm is only in your mind, you know where to bring it. I let those words drift like blossoms on a pond. Then, after a lingering pause, change the tone, warm and playful. Imagine love. I breathe. One day, we wake to the gentle smell of rain, even before it falls, and we smile at each other across a breakfast counter, no longer strangers, no longer patrons and barista, just us. I tilt my head so you can see the slow flush on my cheeks. I'll brew jasmine tea. You'll butter toast. And maybe we'll let the city fend for itself while we trace raindrops racing down new windows. You fingers sleep, tugging at your lashes once more. My hand resumes its tender journey through your hair, root to tip, root to tip, slow enough that minutes blur. To anchor you gently, I whisper faint descriptions of each sensation. The crackle of wick and wax as the candle breathes with us. The soft hush of velvet beneath us, molding to your shape. The faint hum of the refrigerator behind the bar, steady and low, like a distant cello joining the rain's quiet symphony. And always, always the rain, softer now, a lullaby brushing the roof with silvery hush. I lean closer, letting my breath flutter warmly across your ear. If you drift, I promise, I won't move. I'll keep watch. I'll listen. I'll breathe with you. A small giggle slips through. Quiet, lightning. Though if you snore adorably, I reserve the right to tease you gently tomorrow. Your lips curl, even half asleep. I press a tender kiss to the corner of your mouth. So light, it barely counts as a kiss. Then lean back, letting you settle. Curl closer if you like, I invite, adjusting my arm behind your shoulders, guiding you as you nuzzle into my side. The blanket shifts, enveloping us even more. There you go, I praise softly. Your heart beats steady, your breath smooth. Perfect. I look toward the window. Raindrops cling like tiny diamonds catching the glow of a distant street lamp. The storm's almost spoken its last verse. I whisper, brushing your hairline. But we have hours before dawn even thinks of visiting. Let's make them ours. I lower my voice even further, barely a breath. Feel free to drift in and out. I'll keep whispering little comforts, and you can catch whichever ones you like. Let the rest float away for several long minutes, close to eternity in the hush. I simply hum a gentle, wordless melody, one my grandmother once sang when she kneaded bread. It's slow, lilting, loops back on itself like a lullaby with no beginning or end. My fingers trace invisible paths along your arm, small circles, gentle zigzags. the sailor's legend, soft snippets that unfold at dream pace. Mirren and the poet built that cottage by the sea. Every storm they'd step outside, tongues out, like children, catching wishes before they even cooled. They believed every wish tastes different, some sweet like syrup, some sharp like citrus. Their favorite nights were the gentle drizzles, when wishes landed slow enough to savor. I yawn softly, contagious warmth, and press my cheek to the top of your head. Forgive me, I breathe, half smiling. This calm is contagious. I give your shoulder a light squeeze. Are you still comfortable? Do you need more warmth anywhere? I wait, feeling your head shift in the slightest no. Good. I sigh happily. Stay exactly where you feel best. My eyes trace slow arcs along the room. Candle stubs pooling wax. Empty chairs standing sentinel. Shadows hiding in corners like drowsy cats. I return my gaze to you, marveling at the serenity painting your face. You're beautiful when you let go. I whisper, just honesty, no agenda. I hope you know that. A sudden hush outside tells me the rain has settled into the lightest mist. The clock overhead gives a gentle click as its minute hand shifts. I brush a finger beneath your chin, coaxing your face up enough that I can meet your sleepy gaze. We're past midnight, I murmur. Officially tomorrow, yet it still feels like the night's holding its breath just for us. My lips curve. Do you want to slip further into dream, or would a bit more conversation keep you comfortable? Your quiet, content sigh offers its own choice. Surrender to rest. I nod, brushing my thumb over your cheek. Then rest you shall. I begin a slow, deliberate countdown, soft as petals. 10 gentle breaths muscles relax at the final word. I feel the subtle weight of deeper rest settle against me. I press a final kiss to your temple. Stay here. I breathe into your hair. Dream fluid. Dream soft. Dream of mornings where the smell of jasmine means you're home. I keep petting your hair, but my words thin into a barely audible mantra. Reassuring hums. Safe, warm, adored. The candles burn low, their flames small and steady. The night presses gently against the windows, but finds no entry to disturb us. Minutes drift like feathers on a breeze. Somewhere beyond, a lone car passes, tires whispering along wet asphalt. Then silence pours in again. Your breathing's cadence is deeper, slower, and I match mine to it, creating a duet of quiet life. Sometimes I whisper a stray dream seed. Imagine sunlight glinting off fresh rain puddles tomorrow, or picture us sharing croissants as steam curls from mugs. Small, lovely futures dangling like mobile stars above your drifting mind. In this melted hush, time rearranges itself, stretching, bending, folding, until the notion of hours ceases to matter. All that exists is soft warmth, your head on my lap, the faint scent of jasmine, the slow glow fading from candles, and my heartbeat thrumming a lullaby against your ear. When I sense you floating on the very edge of true sleep, hovering between waking and dreaming, I lower my voice to a whisper so thin only your subconscious might hear. I'm not going anywhere. Drift as far as you need. I'll guide you back to shore when dawn murmurs gray. I stroke downward from scalp to nape, again and again, until breath and rain synchronize into a single long hush. And there, in velvet silence, I keep watch, fingers gentle, presence steady, while the world outside folds deeper into misted calm. My fingers continue their slow pattern through your hair, root to tip, root to tip, while the candles ebb lower, their pools of molten wax glassy and still. The drizzle outside has has dwindled to a faint mist, each bead settling on the windows with such delicate taps. They sound more like sleepy sighs than rain. A hush deeper than any lullaby cradles the cafe. Even the humming fridge seems to dim its own voice to honor the quiet wrapped around us. The blanket shifts as I draw it further over your shoulder, tucking it beneath your chin with unhurried care. You're drifting so sweetly, I whisper, lips grazing the soft shell of your ear. Stay with the weightlessness a little longer. Let it carry you past every thought. I let my palm settle flat over your heartbeat again, feeling its gentle thrum. Breathe in for 4 with me now. 1, 2, 3, 4. And let it flow out just as slowly. Perfect. We repeat the count together in silence, letting each breath melt another knot of tension until your chest rises like a feather on a breeze and falls in a calm tide. Somewhere distant, a clock tower chimes once, half past something, but its single note is so muffled by the mist, it blends with the hush. I trace a lazy circle just beneath your clavicle, anchoring your thoughts to the steady contact. The night is ours, I murmur, voice down to embers. Outside, storefronts are dark, bus shelters empty, street lights guarding puddles that glitter like tiny constellations. Inside, only candle glow and our breathing remain. Can you feel how the world has paused just for these quiet heartbeats? You shift, nuzzling deeper against my lap, and I smile softly at the trust in the motion. Good. I breathe. Let me guide you into the gentlest corner of sleep. I place 2 fingers in the center of your forehead, drawing an invisible line to the tip of your nose. mist outside has nearly ceased, replaced by the softest hush of damp air settling. A faint scent of wet earth breezes in through the mail slot, mingling with the waning jasmine in our cups. I lean to brush my lips across your temple. Do you hear the quiet? I ask so faintly. The words barely exist. It's the world exhaling with you. I guide another breath. In for 4, out for 6, drawing the exhale longer, coaxing your body deeper into ease. Time drifts. Every minute glides by on kitten paws, so light it barely creases the silence. I hum a low, circular tune, no melody you'd recognize, just a soft spiral of notes that loop and fade, loop and fade. My thumb at the nape of your neck keeps time, a gentle pulse you can float upon. After a while, when I sense your consciousness bobbing at the very threshold of dream, I whisper affirmations like pearls dropped into still water, one by one. You are safe. You are cherished. You have given this night the gift of your trust. Each affirmation settles into the hush. I wait for the tiny ripple to fade before releasing the next. Your breathing response grows so soft that mine instinctively slows to meet it, sinking into one serene rhythm. A subtle glow begins to pale the eastern windows. Not sunrise yet, only the first ghost of dawn testing its edges. I stroke the curve of your shoulder beneath the blanket. Soon, I murmur, morning light will find us still tangled in quiet. My voice turns wistful but content. When it arrives, I'll brew fresh tea, and we'll watch the city stretch itself awake. But for now, stay adrift. No need to swim back yet. I fall silent, letting minutes pool. When I speak again, the hush tastes of warm honey. Tell me, I coax gently, if you could choose a dream for these last hours of night, what shape would it take? I leave an airy pause. Your eyelids flutter, though you don't fully wake. I imagine the answer painting soft colors behind your lashes. I whisper, smiling. That sounds yourself standing just outside this cafe, rain finally hushed. You tilt your face upward, mist beads on your lashes lie like dew on lilac petals. The air smells of wet pavement and blooming night flowers. I step up behind you, sliding my arms around your waist, resting my chin on your shoulder. We listen to distant gulls calling the sunrise, and everything feels wrapped in soft gold. My breath hovers at your ear. In that dream, maybe I turn you slowly, lift your chin with one fingertip. I pause, letting your imagination fill the silhouette. But that part, I breathe, voice thinning to velvet secrecy. That part belongs to a more private corner of the story. If you ever want to feel how the first kiss tastes on a rain-washed sidewalk, how dawn blushes when lips finally meet, well, my lips brush your earlobe with a feather-light graze. You know where to find the rest. I let the hint flutter away, filing itself in the quiet like a sealed envelope stamped Patreon. I retreat half an inch, resuming the tender stroke across your back. For now, I lull, keep floating on the hush. Let the final candles burn low beside us. Let my heartbeat be your lullaby. I tuck the blanket once more, sealing warmth at your ankles, then settle both arms around you, drawing you snug against my chest. Feel me breathe. Feel me here. I won't leave before you wake. A drowsy hum slips from your throat, half recognition, half sleepy sigh, and I smile into your hair. That's it, I whisper, pressing the gentlest kiss to your crown. Melt, darling, melt into this moment. Minutes drift, leaves on a slow river. The last candle sighs, its flame shrinking to a blue bead before winking out. But soft twilight slides in its place, pale and forgiving. I keep the quiet intact, stroking, breathing, guarding. When the eastern windows finally bloom, the softest dream level invitation. And if you'd like that stolen sunrise kiss, the door to Patreon is open, just a click away. I give the tease a breath to linger, then wrap you tighter. Voice now a silk ribbon, tying off the night. Before you drift completely, my love, can I ask a tiny favor? I wait for the subtlest stir. If our quiet hours brought you comfort, touch that little like button when you wake, and maybe tap subscribe so our paths cross again. Ring the tiny bell if you'd like the rain to call you back whenever a new story brews. Each request is soft, unhurried, wrapped in gratitude rather than ask. It helps this cozy corner stay lit for wanderers who need it. I nuzzle into your hair once more, letting a slow breath warm the lock behind your ear. Thank you for sharing the hush with me, I murmur. May every dream tonight cradle you in the gentlest glow. My words taper to a thread. Sleep deeply, wake softly, and carry the comfort with you. I close my eyes, resting my cheek to your crown, rocking the faintest sway, just enough to mirror the earth's spin, while the first birds outside trill tentative notes. My final whisper drifts on the hush like a feather settling. Sweet dreams, darling. I'm here till morning. And with that, silence slips its final blanket over the room as you ease into perfect, abiding sleep.